Good afternoon and welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We've been coming to you live from the Singapore FinTech Festival. Joining me for this segment, we have William Chin, who's the Senior Vice President and Head of Commodities over at the Singapore Exchange. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
And we are here to talk about bulk commodities. Why is it such an interesting proposition in this part of the world?
You know what? Commodities in general is an interesting proposition in this part of the world. Asia, driven by China, has really been leading a lot of the consumption and production of the majority of the world's resources. So if we think about bulk commodity products and dry bulk commodity products specifically, what is quite interesting is that China consumes 2/3 of the iron ore that's dug up from beneath the ground. If you look at iron ore itself, it's the backbone of what powers the modern economy, right? So all the skyscrapers that you see flying into Changi Airport, all of that is built with steel, and steel is nothing more than iron ore with impurities removed.
Right.
So it's hugely exciting.
There's a lot around here too.
Absolutely.
This is my first time in Singapore, and I was surprised flying in just how populated and how many buildings are here. Even just looking at the number of boats that were in the water along the shoreline, it was quite incredible. So what are some of the strengths that SGX has in this space?
Look, we, just like, multiple other industry and segments that we play in, the neutrality of Singapore is absolutely crucial for a lot of participants. So the fact that we are neither a seller nor a buyer lands really well for an exchange to play the role of price discovery. And what that really means is that, we do not have an incentive for prices to be higher than what they should be, nor lower than they should be. It's a neutral price discovery. If you look at the iron ore contract, part of the reason why it's been so successful at the SGX is because we clear 1.5 billion tons of iron ore last year, and what is really driving that success is the fact that there is a lot of confidence in that neutrality in Singapore. There's that confidence in SGX playing that global risk management center role, and really what that means is that I could come participate on the SGX and have every confidence that that price is credible, and have every confidence that my ability to trade in and out and reflect market price fundamentals and trends is intact.
All right, well, let's talk about what's next in your virtual steel mill risk management toolkit. What is that?
Right, so in October, we announced the launch of a high-grade iron ore contract. So what we've been trying to do really is to look at the segments of the different community and say, look, what's really some of the key trends that's been, driving some of the new world order, right? So we have seen that in China in the last 12 to 18 months, the fact that the government's really aiming for bluer skies and cleaner air. And what that really means is that we now have to, or China's steel mills now have to look at using higher grade iron ore in order to drive and extract maximum efficiency out of per ton of steel that they produce. So that is driving to quite interesting trends in price discovery. The fact that we're launching a higher grade iron ore contract means that we want to drive eyeballs and price discovery to a higher grade of iron ore that is now being utilized in a structural shift in China.
All right, and to wrap up here, so you recently launched the Titan OTC Pro. Tell us about that platform.
Right, so this is an interesting question because we are at FinTech Festival. After all, so we have been working on a commodities trifecta of products, price discovery or benchmarks, and ecosystem. So we have talked about new products, we have talked about price indicators or iron ore as a macroeconomic indicator. Now the third layer, which is quite interesting to us, is how do we think about the ecosystem? How do we put a layer on top of a trade registration platform to solve trade friction in the trading of OTC commodity products? So what that really means is today, the fact that I pick up the phone, I speak to a broker, I trade, and I wait for a broker to come back and confirm trades. We want to try to maximize efficiency in that and drive eyeballs onto a platform. The ability for us to create a broker-centric platform means that my ability to trade, my ability to broke, all of that drives maximum efficiency onto a platform. We will also add additional functionalities like pre-execution checks. So that solves a lot of old world problems using old world technology, no big words like tokenization, right, using a new paradigm approach.
Okay, William, thank you so much for joining us at the FinTech Festival.
Thanks again.
Be sure to join me throughout the day. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.